if x plus 2 is greater than 5, then it could actually be bigger than 5, or it could be less than negative 5. Okay, if I solve that, whoops, I get x is greater than 3, or x is less than negative 7. A lot like yesterday's, right? The only difference is I had to switch the inequality and the negative, instead of just switch the negative, like we did yesterday. If I graph this, what would the graph look like? Well, if I put like negative 7 and 3 on there, it's greater than 3, which is this, or less than negative 7, which is all this. And since it's an OR statement, it doesn't matter that they don't have anything in common. So this would be the graph answer. All these numbers would work, all those numbers would work. If we plug in any number out here, like negative 8, it's going to work. Or if we plug any number out here, like 4 or 5, it's going to work. All right, does that make sense? We'll do some examples here in a second. Okay, that's only half the lesson though. The other half is less than. Okay, let's play a little game with that. If I had absolute value of x is less than 5, what numbers would work in here?
Negative 42.
Huh?
Negative 42.
Would negative 42 work?
Yes.
What's the absolute
Just
value?
kidding, just kidding.
What's the absolute value of negative 42?
1.
42, which is not less than 5, so no, negative 42 would not work. What would work?
Negative 1.
Would negative 4 would work? Would positive 4 work?
Yeah.
4, negative 4, what else?
Negative 1. 5
2.
to 0. Negative
5 to 0,
Okay. Or 4 to 0.
or 4, well, everything less than 5, like 4.9 to 0. And what about on the negative side?
Negative 1.
Negative 1,
Negative
negative 2, negative 3, negative 4,
2.
not negative 5. So really, everything that's between, so less than 5, but bigger than negative 5 would work. Does that make sense? So here's what it looks like. Less than 5 and bigger than negative 5. That's what it looks like. So that's going to happen every time there's a less than on the absolute value. Absolute value less than. Looks like that. So in this problem, how am I going to set this up? It's going to be x plus 2 is less than 5 and it's greater than negative 5. These should always go the same direction. That looks like that also. Okay?
Yeah.
So basically this thing is going to be between this number and its opposite. And you remember how we solved this the other day?
True from both sides.
Yeah, from all sides. And just get x by itself in the middle here. So it looks like that. You guys know what that graph looks like?
Wait.
It looks like x is bigger than negative 7 and less than 3. This is really an and statement, even though we didn't write and in there.
Because everything.
Yeah, it's x is everything between those two, stuff like that. Connect the dots.
Yeah.
Okay, so the absolute value greater than always looks like this. It's going to be smaller than the small number, bigger than the big number. And the absolute value is less than always ends up being like this. It's between two numbers. That's the graph. Okay, if that's not really clear right now, it's okay. We're going to be doing some odds to help you remember it. You ready? You guys already write this assignment down? 1 through 20? Okay, number 1. If the absolute value of x is greater than 3, how did I set up the greater than? Okay, it might be greater than 3, or it might be less than negative 3. The greater than looks a lot like the equals that we did yesterday. How do I graph? Okay, 1 through 8 is actually graphing. How do I graph that? I'm just gonna put, we're just gonna make a really simple graph here. -3 and 3 need to be on there. X is greater than 3, so that would be this, or less than -3, that would be that. Okay, number 3 is an absolute value of x is less than or equal to 5. So this is the other kind. If it's less than 5, remember how this sets up? It's going to be between 5 and -5. Notice that I put the less than or equal to symbol on these, just like this, it started out.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put I'm just gonna put -5, 0, 5. I'm gonna put a open or closed circle. Closed circle. And this basically means x is everything between these two numbers. So I'm just gonna draw the line between the two. Got our pretty graphs done. Okay, number 5 is going back to a greater than problem. It says absolute value greater than 16. So this should look more like number 1. Oops. Forgot what I was doing. Okay, but it doesn't just say x this time, so guess what we gotta do here? Basically the or statement, just like yesterday. 2x is greater than 16, or 2x is less than -16. And yeah, we gotta divide by 2. So x is greater than 8, or x is less than -8. Graph. X is less than -8, looks like that. X is greater than 8, looks like that. Number 7 goes back to a less than or equal to problem. Less than or equal to 10. Anybody think they know how to set up a less than yet? I've only seen a couple of them so far, but Grant?
So would it be like x goes in the middle of them, but like it's like you add 3 to 10?
Okay,
Or you separate them for the, what's it called, thing?
x minus 3
Yeah.
is going to be in the middle.
Yeah. And then you do that, and then you do the same thing on the other side, but it's like, yeah.
So it's off, negative. Yeah.
Yeah.
X minus 3 is going to be between -10 and 10.
I didn't know how to say it out loud, I just didn't know how to write it down.
Yeah, we got to get x by itself in here, so plus 3, what's -10 plus 3?
-7.
-7, 13. Now am I going to graph that? I will put open or close circle. Okay, are my arrows gonna be going out, or is it connect the dots? Connect the dots. 'Cause X is between those two numbers. You guys know how we can check this answer? It's a little trick, it's kind of a tricky question. We could plug in any number in here, and if it works up here, then we're probably right. So like 0, if I plug in 0, 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Absolute value of negative 3 is 3. It's less than or equal to 10. All these numbers should work, including negative 7 and 13. Since okay, number 9. 9 is not graphing anymore, so we're just simplifying. 2x plus 6 greater than or equal to 14. Okay, this is a greater than. Somebody help me set this up. Help me, help me. Hope almost had the courage.
Isn't it like 2x plus 6 is greater than or equal to 14?
Yes.
And then you do the same on the other side, but it's like that whole thing is, oh, just kidding. Keep going.
Okay,
Less than.
if it's, were you thinking of the less than one?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if there's a good way to remember which is which, but I don't know. I had a way to remember it, but I don't. Every time I talk to people,
Which is which for what?
like what you do for the greater than, what you do for the less than, are two different things. You just gotta kind of have them memorized.
So that one would be the 2x plus 6 is greater than or then
Less
equal
than.
to, less
Less
than
than or
or
equal
negative
to.
14. Negative 14. I knew that. So, at least I tried.
I think the way that I remembered it once upon a time was
Ain't that old?
since
Wow.
I'm that
He's
old.
younger than you.
Stop.
Yeah, so
That was uncalled for.
Ageless hope. Okay, anyway, 2x plus 6 is greater than, so it's like bigger than, it's above, it's free of this number. So it's outside the numbers. I don't know. That's kind of how I thought of it. See, it made sense to me, but that's why I wasn't going to tell you. I told you anyway. All right, now what do I do?
You do math.
Wow.
Do math, good idea.
That is pretty crazy.
I know. You just go
I'm
through
not
math.
in math and that.
Everyone wishes they were you.
I know.
Okay, divide by 2 is 4, or what is negative 14 minus 6?
Negative 20.
Negative 20.
Negative 20, whoa, divided by 2, it's negative 10. Do I need to switch the inequality on this one?
No.
No. I divided by positive 2, not negative 2. Okay, we're not graphing anymore, so I'm just going to stop right there.
Yeah.
You can just yell.
You guys are almost there. You only got about an hour left. It's cool. Does that sound like a long time?
An hour and 15 minutes.
Because we changed to English being right after lunch, I keep thinking every time we get out of English, that's the end of the day.
That would be bad, yeah.
It sucks.
You're about to walk out the door
I
and
hate the
then
new
you're
one.
like,
You guys will
I
get
think
used
it's
to it
better
after a
for
while.
us than for.
Eli starts crying.
No, because we have the same.
I almost did yesterday.
It's the same.
You always gotta be
I did, I had a tear ready to go.
That's yours.
I was that ready.
You go, after Mr. Zamora says, I'm looking at you, Brent. I just think
Oh.
they can get away with that. You start
Okay.
Yeah, she's more mean.
We're back to number 11 is a greater than again. So somebody else want to try this one?
I'm not doing it.
Is it
I know you did.
Wait, is it the or thing?
Yeah, the greater
or
than is
thing.
the or thing, yes.
So, like 4x plus 17 is greater than 7.
Yeah, looks just like that, right?
Or 4x plus 17
Whoops.
is less than -7?
Yes.
Oh.
Wow, it's so smart.
Wait, I have a question. Yesterday, did we not change the sign?
We did. So,
We did.
We did?
yeah, we did. So here's
That's probably-
one of the problems we did yesterday. Where did I put that at?
Oh,
I think
You
it-
like never erase your things or whatever.
it's not even.
Okay.
Here's each one.
Yesterday, this is what we did, right? It was equals 5 or whatever, and it looked like this. So it's pretty similar to greater than.
Well,
You don't remember putting the negative on this one?
no, I did that. You're
My
just
mom's
like,
a majority.
today you're flipping the, like, less
Yeah.
than or.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that new?
Yes.
Oh,
Yesterday we did equals. You can't flip. You don't flip that.
Okay.
You can't flip it. Today we're doing greater than, less than. Yeah, the greater than flips. Okay, so 7 minus 17
Oh,
is negative 10. Uh-oh, what's negative 10 divided by 4? Uh-oh. 10 over 4, or what's that reduced to? 5 over 2.
Oh, yeah.
Can you guys do negative 7 minus 17 in your head?
-34.
Negative 24.
Where's my 4?
Oh, you're on the right side. I was like, what?
Divided by 4. Negative 6. Hmm?
I finished this side.
You finished with the
It's
thing.
over. There's no space left.
Wow, Hannah, you want that?
You know what, Hope? I'm just saying.
I was dying to know that.
I know, right?
I know.
See?
I'll read it later.
Sure.
Everybody needs to know every little thing about my house.
Shannon. No one cares. No one gets to know.
I eat food. But
Shannon, I'm very interested in what TV star that you are
JJ.
romantically involved, linked to.
You should
Okay.
ask Issa about who she is romantically attracted
John
to.
Doe.
John Doe.
Roblox noob.
Like, yeah, he's a Roblox
Over
noob.
80.
That's just the name of like someone who's
And you
unknown.
want to see my list?
That's not Roblox name.
Cat Noir,
It's a
John
Cat
Doe.
Cat
Noir is
Yeah.
hot. I don't read
Yeah.
but
Okay, shh, sorry I brought it up.
I don't know why.
This is
All
going
right.
on YouTube too.
Now, somebody hasn't done one yet. It's greater than again. Hopefully, we'll at least get the greater than down.
5 nines,
Who wants to? Okay, shh. All right, Eli.
5 nines x plus 6 is greater than 5, or 5 minus x plus 6 is less than negative 5.
Did I copy that right? All right. 5 minus 6 is negative 1. Remember when you divide by 5/9 by hand, you're really multiplying by 9/5. So 9/5 times negative 1 is negative 9/5. If you're not sure, you can plug it in the calculator, but if you plug in the calculator, your calculator will probably tell you negative 1.4 or maybe negative 1 4/5, which is fine. Okay, negative 5 minus 6, negative 11, divided by 5/9, which is like times 9/5, is negative 99/5. The 11 and 9 multiply. That would be like negative 19 and 4/5, or negative 19 Okay, I'm gonna, yeah,
Can I go get a drink?
yeah. I'm gonna do 14 because all the odds are greater thans. And we haven't done a less than in a long time, so I'm gonna switch up the pattern and do number 14 here for change. So whatever you wanna do with that on your paper. You know.
It's 15.
I'm doing 14.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
2x minus 8, okay, less than. It's been like 4 problems since we've done one of these. Less than, do you guys remember how I set those up? It's gotta be between 10 and negative 10. Alright, how am I gonna solve that for x?
You add it.
At 8.
Add 8.
That was a very quick drink. Kind of. If you guys know about that.
Now what do I need to do? Divide by 2. Get x by itself in the middle here. What do you think would happen if I had to divide by negative 2?
Switches.
Both of these arrows would switch, right? The inequalities would switch. Yeah, both of them would switch. But I'm not dividing by negative 2.
That's probably the only even I'm gonna get right here.
Speaking of last year, for how many?
Okay, so we got one of your evens done. That gets down 9 evens. Okay. Let's go back to the odds, number 15. On what now?
Them. They were laughing at me. Or not at me, but at something that I said. And I was so confused.
You probably don't want
I
to know.
said, you did it for 2 years? And I said, did you do it for 2 years? That's what I heard. They're
Laughing at me.
laughing at
Okay, Issa, how do I set up 15?
You do the 4 minus 7 is greater than or less than 29.
Good job.
Or 4x minus 7 is, what's it called, less than or equal to negative 20.
What's it
Wow.
called?
You're not supposed to smile.
Okay, how long did you do karate?
Okay, now shoot me with that guy the goggles on the
36 divided by 4
and he
is...
just starts crying.
I'm just kidding, it's 9.
Can you guys do negative 29 plus 7 in your head?
No. Negative 36. Negative. Oh, just kidding. Negative 20.
Okay, here's another tricky question. What's negative 22 divided by 4?
5.11 over 2.
Negative.
Okay, yeah.
Negative.
Negative 11 over 2.
Oh, okay. I saw
Oh my gosh. Good.
Did you do that, Chevys?
Yeah.
Shannon, you sound so funny.
Wait,
They're doing cocaine and that.
Too quick on the draw.
That was me to the
Well,
end.
I kind of, if I was strong over here. I'm good.
Alright, almost there, almost there. Number 17.
They're like those people on America's Funniest Videos who just laugh all the time.
I know, they just giggle constantly.
Alright. So we got something outside the absolute values. You guys remember what we did with that yesterday?
You just do it normally.
Add five.
Yeah, get rid of the minus 5 at the start. So add 5,
Oh my
6, Okay, this is a less than. I don't think we've
Get Shannon to do that.
successfully set up a less than
What you
yet.
said there was the algebra grade.
Shannon, you wanna try?
No. I can try.
Okay, Grant.
Okay, just take the thingies out and just do 3x plus 2, less than or equal to 6, or,
No.
oh, this is not an or problem.
No, less than's not or, no.
Okay, never mind.
Six.
Before it,
Read it.
So,
Okay, so stop, but then on the other side you have less than or equal to negative.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
I was supposed to write or do that. Oh, no.
greater thans are ors, less thans are in between.
I thought we were going to rewrite it.
No. You did it?
So, no,
Or minus two.
-2, girls hush. Now what?
Divide by
Divide the 3 off. What's -8 divided by 3?
negative 8/3.
Negative 8/3.
Basically the lazy answer.
What's 4 divided by 3? 4/3. One more, we're almost there.
My kidneys. I just said my kidneys.
What'd you say?
My kidneys.
Why?
My kids' things.
Alright, on 19, we can simplify that before we write it down, right? What does 19 simplify to?
X, or X, yeah.
Yeah, we can do 7x minus 6x and turn it into a 1x. So I'm just going to put absolute value of x plus 9 is greater than 8. That looks a lot simpler, right?
Yeah.
It's a greater than again. So how do I actually remember how we set up greater than?
The or.
The or one?
Thank
Remember
you.
how it works?
Yeah.
So you do x plus 9 is greater than 8, just like it says, or x plus 9 less than negative.
8. Oh, yeah.
Alright. 8 minus 9 is,
-1.
or negative 8 minus 9 is,
Negative.
I don't know what you guys,
That will show you that you found.
no more fractions.
Actually, where's my
I take everything I said back.
Okay, I'm gonna come around at like 2:30 and look at your number 2 and 4. I'm gonna come around at 2:30 and look at numbers 2 and 4.
What time did we get out?
2:40.